Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. We got game 2 of Empire versus Gambit. I'm Kyle. This is Lizard. These teams competing to see who wins Group B in our GG.Bet Birmingham Invitational. What do you think?
What do I think? I think we're going to have a great game 2, definitely. I think Gambit is a team that adapts really well after learning from their mistakes, and I think they have some things that they have to fix for this next game.
Definitely. They need to like get they need to, I would say, just I'd say fill some of the holes in their draft. Like there were no.
Maybe don't pick the Raid King. Maybe do that first.
I just want to see it.
Then don't pick Storm, Raid King. You can experiment with one core. Don't experiment with. I mean, yesterday they picked Raid King Sniper, so it did work out for them. I guess they got carried away, thinking like, all right, this worked.
I don't like drafts that have no save, like no real combo break, counter initiation, cleanse. And you don't have the ability to push towers.
I don't like drafts that have no strategy behind them. I hate drafts.
Jeez, that's harsh.
I hate drafts that don't have these specific roles divided between their 1 and 2. Most importantly, like every team that succeeds has that very well divided role. 1, role 2. You have that carry that can fight either very early on, something like a jug, something that basically itemizes for the mid-game fight, and then you take something greedy on the mid lane, or you go greedy on the or you go pacemaker on the mid lane, tempo controller, and something greedier on the carry, such as PL or whatever. They went Storm and Raid King. Storm is farming for what he needed 3 items before he joined the fights properly to make an impact, and Raid King is just farming his Radiance. He's not joining any single fights, so they had absolutely no control of the ball during that game. They were just they gave it away to Empire completely.
I feel like they didn't have a natural power spike in the way that the Empire lineup had, where it's just like, well, our 1 and 2 and 3 have all bought like their next item, so we're really strong. There wasn't a feeling that Gambit would ever really reach that moment until it was just so far into the late game that everybody was farmed. Love the Wyvern pick from Empire. This is a very underrated hero in my estimation. You've got everything we were just talking about. You've got a huge AoE BKB piercing ultimate that totally can turn a team fight. You've got a put down heal that prevents physical damage. In addition, you've got crazy wave clear. You can rotate around the map. And I love the night vision talent as well that was changed.
It's one of those. It's one of those position 5s that always has farm as well, just due to nature. Very similar to Kotl, just out pushes all the time with Splinter Blast. Helps you out. Again, they get the Death Prophet. They have the save in Winter Wyvern. It's not as good as Oracle, but it's good enough. On the other side, however, Gambit went for that Earth Spirit. And if you could choose one hero for Immersion to play in a game such as this one, that's Earth Spirit. He loves that hero.
See, I remember watching Liquid, I believe it was. Or no, sorry, it was Vici back at the Minor when they 3-0'd Gambit. I remember watching Immersion continuously play this roaming 4 position, notably the Earth Spirit. What Vici would do is a lot like what Empire started off with, which is to draft lanes that were ungankable. Death Prophet specifically is my favorite hero to play in a game against Earth Spirit, because if you roll on top of him and he has a couple drains active, you're not going to kill him. And if there's a teammate behind him, you're probably going to just feed yourself away.
Yeah, it's a very difficult hero to gank and bring down from 100 to 0, right? You have to have something like a sniper on that mid lane to constantly nag her, to constantly just bit by bit bring her down, so that when the Earth Spirit rolls in, you have you need only that second or two to take her down before the heal drain kicks in.
I'm very surprised Empire didn't ban SF. I think that is certainly the direction Gambit will go, probably with their 4th pick. 3rd, you could go for a core. Yeah, he was the one, I think, that really started this SF trend. He was the guy that popularized the Arcane's McGreaves build, and it is my go-to counter to DP if Sniper's out of the pool, because DP wants to play aggressive in your face, but if SF ever catches you with a long nuke before you try and run at him, a triple nuke, even at level 3, you are not able to trade against the Shadow Fiend, and as the lane progresses, he's going to have such a high base damage advantage on you that you start having to think about even going to jungle, perhaps.
Yeah, their SF was first pick material. They were picking that SF in first phase before, so I'd be surprised if they don't pick it. However, the bans from Team Empire also make sense. You have to ban out the Darkseer. You're playing versus Earth Spirit. Oracle is out of the option. If you leave the Darkseer in, that combination is just way too powerful. And at the same time, they saw what happened to a Death Prophet yesterday versus a Sniper, so perhaps that's the reason why they opted for these 2 bans instead. We haven't talked about Bane. I mean, Hero is pretty much straightforward, and FNG is gonna just be able to command his team while playing that. Hero also has a lot of catch, obviously, with the grip, with the silence, with the sleep.
Concern is, once again, the lack of team fight. You got a lot of catch, you got a lot of stuns, but neither one of these supports hits buildings. They don't kill creep waves. They're solely map control vehicles. They're trying to find kills and be strong in the laning phase. TB ban comes out from Gambit. Makes sense. You don't want to give Empire that second core that can just pump damage into buildings. We saw how that worked out
Also a core
so well
that
for them last game.
Also a core that fits this scenario in which that Prophet protects it while Terrorblade or Morphling, they get their farm, and then they join the fights when they're ready. And the problem is you can't pressure them before, as that Prophet is always there ready to fight you. Oh, they go with Duza Gambit. Interesting.
All right.
This puts some pressure on Empire. They're now thinking, all right, we can go for this 4 protect 1, but we're still going to be playing versus a Duza. They're just as strong later on.
And it's cool. I've heard this DP Medusa matchup. I've heard both ends, that like the laning phase is favored in one way, and I've heard the game is favored in one way. Like both ways. There's no real agreement on it. What I tend to see is that if Death Prophet's able to have a draft that has an overall higher pace, and you can take the tier 1s early and then start starving the map, prevent Dusa from just farming both ends of the jungle in that mid wave, DP looks like a counter. But if you don't get that, if the game stays 50-50, Dusa just outfarms, and at a point, you're just so much stronger than the DP.
We've seen it, actually, even on this tournament. Like, we've seen the matchup, and that Prophet, if they manage to go on her, and if they manage to force the fights on that Prophet side of the map, and if she's forced to use that ulti there, then that Duza is just free farming on her own side and just chilling, getting that farm, getting the Dragonlance, few raid bans, and then suddenly she has all the mana necessary, and also she's very tanky with that item build, and you can't even gank her properly. So setting the pace of the game should be a very important aspect of Team Empire's strategy. And with that Tiny, perhaps they can do it. I just wish this Tiny goes for a little bit earlier of a blink.
Yeah.
No bracers, nothing like that.
Ooh.
I was waiting for this.
Seriously?
I was waiting for this. Like, this hero was picked by SA teams a lot, and they loved playing him with Ursa, with heroes that are gonna... However, instantly...
Wow.
There you go, that hard carry that kind of can lane versus the Omni Knight, at least before the Soul Ring, and at the same time...
very well against the Omni Knight, especially with the Wyvern in tow. You're just going to hit that Omni, make him out of mana. The way Omni offlane looks so good is you spam the W, and you just get that heal regen. You have mass amounts of status resist. You just trade hits more effectively.
They might be thinking about switching these lanes now.
Yeah.
Gambit, perhaps dodge the Omni Knight, dodge the Omni Knight anti-mage lane, that is.
Yeah. It is, I will say, I've had a lot of conversations with some carry players like Resolution, notably, about this Medusa versus AM relationship. Sure, AM is a counter, but it's not considered like a super counter because you just change the way you itemize. Usually the Medusa will go for a slightly faster BKB, and instead of rushing a Scotty, you go perhaps for like the Mask of Madness Manta build. Instead of playing around your mana pool, you just play like you're a traditional hard carry, and you make sure to get your ult off early. And theoretically, especially with a hero like Omni Knight, you could be pressuring base towers far before AM is ready to get involved.
5 seconds remaining.
Limited time as well. Gambit down to 3 seconds reserve, whereas Empire sitting on 1 minute 50 seconds. So, something you don't see very often, teams just saving so much time and while still able to complete their draft. Usually a pretty good indicator of either A, a scripted draft, looking at you, Bulb, or B, a lot of confidence. And they're certainly playing with it.
I think it's a little bit of both. Like, especially for Team Empire, they're picking this Death Prophet time after time and winning. So there's a lot of confidence in that pick. It makes it a lot easier for them to fit the rest of the draft around that Prophet. And that Ursa ban, I was talking about that. It would fit Gambit's lineup a lot. You have the Omni Knight Ursa, and you just roll out of control after the laning stage, setting an incredible tempo that's very hard to match. And yeah, it does make sense to ban that Ursa.
Radiant team
Gambit really does need a killer. Love that pick here. All Empire need now is a bit more team fight, a way to stall the game, something that can help scale, and specifically a Vlad's potentially team fight item buyer. Brew fits that build to a T, and excellent against the Omni as well, with that AoE Dispel coming in. Throw up the Medusa, throw up the Bane, you can do a lot. You also AoE Dispel the Magnetize if you desire.
You can dispel the ulti from Omni, right? But you can't dispel the Heavenly's Grace.
Correct. And
You may now
all right,
select your heroes.
that's a pick right there.
Well, that's interesting versus the AM as well, but it's not that bad of a matchup for OD actually right now. Like it's all right versus the anti-mage.
Oh no, OD is a counter to anime,
Yeah,
I would say for
you're
sure.
not scared or anything from
Yeah.
them.
Because you often, as long as you ease up, you should be staying at close enough to full mana that you're not going to be hit by a big mana void. You naturally itemize for a Hex and a BKB. And you also hit him with pure damage. And AM's a very low HP hero, not to mention low int. So if you ever hit him with that big hammer, AM could explode like a pinata.
And then you have the good old Omni Knight plus OD. You
Yeah,
have
of
a lot
course.
of save.
Thankfully, not magic immune anymore.
Yeah, not
but
magic
still strong.
community definitely still strong with the stats resistance and the bonus strength. It's gonna be interesting though. We have some new heroes here. We have the Omni Knight, we have the Anti-Mage.
What are your thoughts?
I don't know. My thoughts are Empire, they have their comfort zone again. Their strategy didn't change. That's the thing. I think for the other side, for Gambit, they kind of switched things around completely, but they haven't like addressed the same problem that they had the last time. This OD and this Duza, they fit the same like script.
Yep.
They're both greedy. Like, yeah, you can itemize power threads 4 nulls or something on OD, but is that gonna be it? Is that gonna be enough once the Omni Knight once the Panda has ulti plus that profit?
It does certainly feel like Gambit are just sort of drafting to play some Dota and looking more at what their enemy matchups are and how to counterpick those specific heroes, whereas Empire has more of a game plan and specifically a linear role distribution. You know you're the 1, the 2, the 3, etc., and what your place will be within this game. Then try and buy time for Dream Darling on that AM, get him to a point where he's strong enough to come in, start crushing through those engagements. We
Dream
have
Darling.
ourselves a bathroom pause, but now we're
It's
back
fine.
into the game.
It's fine. We can see this OD running away from it as he has already planted that Observer Ward down there. Gonna make it a bit easier to lane against the Death Prophet.
You can see the difference in the item builds on the mid laners, though, could prove critical. You've got double circlet on one, double mantle on the other.
Double man.
That's 2 HP versus 1 extra base damage. You never know what could happen.
Cheaty off. That's what FNG told him. He said, turn the cheats off. If you could ever translate that. So hard.
Thank you, Lizard.
So hard. Can I get some sound production, please? No? Never mind. They don't like me.
Wouldn't be the first or the last.
Come on, man. Don't say that to me.
Looks like,
I'm a
is it?
gentle being.
have you seen this? Oh, it's okay. He's gonna rush boots. I was like, what is this? A rush bottle on Tiny? But no, he's actually. I like this a lot more than just raw boots plus mango. To be fair.
Anti-Mage with that blink first. Gonna be laning versus the Omni Knight.
Yeah, why don't you just like walk over and be like,
Look
hey.
at that! Look at that block. That's the block. That's the cheats. Cheats are on again.
Lizard, why don't you just walk over and tell him to put our sound on?
Should I?
I mean, it's right there.
I'm actually doing.
No, that's not gonna work.
They see us. Gambit Esports. They are favored, it seems, and I'll be right back. Control yourself, Kyle.
Oh, we're good. We're good. Thank you. That was a nice debate by production. They just wanted to get Lizard the hell out of here.
I told you they're gonna see me.
Nice first blood by Dream Darling. Not what you want as Gambit to give away first blood to the hero in control of the win condition for the Dire squad. Ugh, that hurts. How did that even happen? Actually, this was just a wyvern
I
and
don't know.
an
I
Anti-Mage.
stood up. I went to tell them to turn the sound on. So, however, they are rolling in. Dream is already on half of his HP. Like, the thing is, he's going for these double raid bans, right? And I respect that completely. I would like to see him get that ring as soon as possible. However, oh, hello, triple ward.
That good shit right
That's
there.
That's
Chuck him up on the high ground. That was a wyvern flying
plus
up.
tiny.
And
Yeah, that's some shenanigans right there.
Ugh.
I call shenanigans.
Thanks, OG.
First we had the hawk, now we have this.
Nice deny. I hate when I lose the archer to that sort of play. Alas. So lanes are going to probably be relatively equal. I don't see either side having a distinct advantage. The one downside for Gambit is that you look at the Earth Spirit of Immersion, one of his best heroes. where does he make moves? Who's he supposed to go kill? There's a Brew in the bottom lane.
Yeah, this top lane, they're
DP
basically
mid.
tri-laning them, so it's very hard to do a whole lot. Immersion might maybe go and creep skip, get those creep waves for the Omni Knight behind the tower. As right now, the two of them, they're just chilling. They're just chilling on the lane, not really doing a whole lot.
FNG, though, with his 2-minute invis rune, might look to make something happen. Tough to land a kill on a Death Prophet this early on, but Afo Ninja, timely lane control obtained.
I don't think they can kill her. It's so hard. It's difficult. The sleep is there, but...
Oh, they're TPing in with immersion as well. Oh, this is a nice play. The double sleep away. This is going to be almost a sure kill unless the Wyvern's able to help out. King R going to come up with the Q. Maybe hit him with the W in just a second. There it is, and wow. Kodos will live, and a ton of damage as well being output onto the Gambit supports.
Such a hard rotation to make versus Kodos. But still, though, considering how much they invested, I expected a kill too. Very unfortunate for them that it didn't happen, as now basically all the other lanes are suffering as you have invested so much time of your supports to that mid lane.
And it's so annoying now because of that first blood, Dream Darling didn't even have to go for like the Wraith Band or the Treads for build-up. He just rushed
Did he
that
rush
Ring
the
of
Wraith?
Health.
Yeah, I like this a lot. I was going to say that it might be a better choice, as he's going to be suffering against Omni Knight once he gets the Soul Ring.
He does still have the mangoes, though, so he's always threatening to pop off a heal, but certainly the right move here by Dream Darling because he can ensure that he's just always going to be able to out-trade the Omni and maintain his sustain, which then frees up his supports to do stuff like teleport mid and save his own allies.
Yes.
A bottom lane, while Madden is level... He's 17-1? Level 4? What happened down here?
The range creeps.
True.
The range
yeah,
creeps,
you're right.
And the Bane left the lane, so he's had a blast.
Well, the Bane, that's the trouble with when you can put 4 creeps on a high ground is that Bane is unable... There's nothing you can do to keep lane control when the enemy side has no archers.
The only thing he can do is pull,
Yep.
but he opted not to. He opted to control the runes and to go try to gank mid, which didn't really work out for them. So because of that, Madden is having like the time of his life on that offlane.
As a troubling sign for Gambit because they are the ones that have a bit more of the initiative. They need to take more of the initiative in this game, and if Brew has a big start, it's very difficult for them to ever try and team fight into the Brew split. You got Mango's prepared on Omni. Will he be able to get it off in time? It does look, he just has to make sure he gets away from the AM mana burn before doing so. As it is, he's going to keep running.
This is just a delay, however, it's very hard for him. Oh, Dream, all right, he says.
It's the right choice, though. Why would he keep chasing? He'd need another blink, and even then, because of the level 2 degen aura, it's actually impossible for Dream Darling to stay in range. He'll get 1 or 2 hits off max, and it's just not going to be enough.
There is that Prophet lurking about, but not going to be enough. Madden, however, on the bottom lane, he's going to fall. He tries to deny himself, but creeps. Just don't care about the Panda.
Indeed. You see Sayu going to bottle the runes. He'll be full mana once again. About to hit level 3. 2 for 2 exchange. Both sides happy with their allotment of bounty runes. 1-1 score.
This mid lane, however, that Kodos is suffering so hard again. Like
Indeed.
Doubled in CS by the SOD. I didn't really think that this lane either should go this way, but he did get like controlled a little bit by supports.
Yeah, not to mention it. OD, probably one of the best heroes at playing with a slight advantage. You get that extra null, all of a sudden you're being out last hit. The spam of the Astral to ensure that extra CS. And you always get at least 1 deny off of an Astral. So just, it's a matchup I think it should be expected to turn, especially if you get that help. But really, 20-5 is respectable considering the amount of pressure he took from that support rotation. Had to use both of his drains and all of his regen. 6 minutes, though. Runes are going to spawn. FNG going to place a cute little ward in the lane. And solo smoke himself. He's got 2 more wards as well, so he wants to get those deep ones up while nighttime persists. Double stun from Empire Sayu. Will they be able to find kills here, though? King R coming in as well with the Wyvern Q. Oh, nice block on that roll by the Tiny. Immersion's going to fall, but...
Oh.
OD was here.
Yeah. Hello, Afo. How you doing? Go back to mid lane. You're drunk.
You're going to see Immersion teleport back in, try and catch those extra creeps while Alpha Ninja has to do the Walk of Shame back to his lane.
It happens.
Indeed. Relatively equalized game, however.
I mean, Anti-Mage is on top, but don't be fooled. This is, like, it's great to have an AM on top, but he's not going to do a whole lot with this farm soon, at least. Like, after the laning stage has ended, he's still going to be that AM that just farms. Perhaps he joins the fight for 1 Void, and that's about it.
Look at that.
So giving like this is also strategically.
And King R might be dead mid here. Nope.
He's fine. Just flies away. Like strategically, what I hated about some of my teams, tier 2 and tier 3, like it's like you put so many resources into securing farm for a core that's not gonna be the one that uses that farm the earliest after the laning stage, right? Like I'd much rather have someone else have that farm than an AM. Okay, maybe Afterlife with the toss.
Will this be enough? He's got a mana void. One more hit. 2 more hits. 1 HP. The Soul Ring, as you said, coming in clutch. He's going to get the heal off. Nice
He should
cut.
get him. He should get him. The jukes. Afterlife.
Yeah, bottom lane Brew, no split available. He will die as well. And look at this. The 2 points in Degener has actually saved this Omni Knight twice now.
Yeah,
And
it's
Dream
so
Darling
hard.
just can't close the gap.
So hard to get him.
Yeah, this is looking all right for Gambit, though, under the circumstances. As you said, I think your point's quite good, though, because I see that happen a lot in certain teams where they try desperately to get their carry. You know, they safe lane, try lane. They throw everything but the kitchen sink at the enemy side, but then neglect their off laner that's supposed to be buying a blink. And all of a sudden, no one can make any plays, and they're forced to sit and watch as their buildings start to die. Don't know if Gambit or Empire will have that problem here, though, as both of their subcores are still doing quite okay, have their core items online.
And that Prophet, like, happened in the last game as well. Struggled a little bit in the lane, but afterwards, Empire, they just sit behind him. However, Gambit, like, both the OD and the dudes are farming fairly well. And I wonder, like, which one of these two is going to be that tempo controller for them after the laning stage. I just hope that the OD doesn't go for something like a Midas. He's going for Force. Yeah, 2 nulls, Force. I like this a bit better. You have that Duza to hard carry you, so.
Oof, immersion. OLA. Tiny narrowly avoids what may have been a death if he gets kicked back into the OD there.
Has no mana as well on Tiny, so that would have been a kill.
And you do have split on Brew, though, and that's why there's a smoke down here. Both the Death Prophet and the Wyvern in range. There's no ult skilled on Dahak. He's just going to get ran up by the Brew split. DP ult popped as well. FNG's just going to die first. It looks like he's going to get the aggro, sleep off onto the Wyvern, but that's going to dispel in just a second. A TP coming in on OD, but he's going to be ready with the Storm Panda. Yes, there it is. There's the silence. He tosses him up in the air. They're going to continue to pursue the Medusa, but that nice Quelling Blade purge is going to get him out scot-free. OD and Immersion still here looking to battle. You've got the ultimate on Afo Ninja. Pops the E just in case he needs a little bit of mana. Bane going to TP back in. FNG on the respawn. There's no Brew ult anymore. DP ult fading. He's got no mana anymore for his silence, and Afro Ninja is going to beat into his face. Will he drop the hammers? The question, he's taking a ton of damage from the DP ult, which will fade soon. He's got to die, and yes, they do get him off before that heal were able to come through. A lot of rotations, however, in what ends up to be a 1-for-1 trade. Bounty runes up in 7 seconds. It looks like Empire swarming towards the bottom side. AM not going to be able to beat Omni to the top one unless he's able to get a nice blink off. You can see he's running.
Maybe for the second one.
Ooh, bottom lane. Afro Ninja in some trouble. He uses the aggro Dispel, but I don't think it's going to save him now. He's actually going to die. One more hit. Yep, that's it. Afro Ninja gets caught looking to go for those runes. Well played by Empire to just regroup and just connect right on those runes.
Empire strikes back instantly after that Kodos falls.
You were waiting that whole time
I was not
to say that.
I was not. I'm even embarrassed for saying it right here and right now. Overall, though, you could see that Gambit, they still have some life in them. Like, they did not allow Empire to set the tempo of the game properly the way they did in that last match. They punished them for that over-aggression on the tier 1. They brought everyone
Don't be too hard on them. Give them a new hope. OD, Dusa, you are going to scale. It's not like, going on the Animage, OD is here, the silence landed, and yeah, that is exactly what I'm talking about.
What?
The hammer right here. Bang.
Let's go.
Bang.
It's out of range.
Get it.
Nice hammer.
Bang!
Awesome hammer. I love the way he tips him afterwards, obviously.
Oh, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. We need more all chat.
At the same time, Dahak is taking down your mid-tier 1, so it's worth it. Space.
I'm surprised he didn't. Like, AM's got such low end. You know the hammer's going to do a bit of damage. I think you 100% want to ensure that kill, but alas, gets a bit greedy trying to save the spell. Bottom lane, you've got Bruce split in 2 seconds. Nice Wyvern ulti. This should be able to secure some kills. The AM ult's not going to do nearly enough damage to finish off Ult Afterlife. He's going to have one more heal. They're continuing to chase. They've got the stun. Will AM be able to get the last hit? Dream Darling chasing for it. Needs that one click, but no, the immolation damage of the Fire Panda will hit that last hit. Omni dies once again.
They lost the tier 1 mid. They lost the tier 1 top for that rotation, so overall, strategically and objectively, they haven't really benefited way too much out of it, considering they use the Panda ult too.
See, this game reminds me a lot of OG versus VP Game 5 Kiev Major Finals. Because you had a similar scenario where an OD played by no one was super big, tons of farm, but went for this more aggressive early game build, specifically for Staff Rush. No Midas. The game ended up going super late. OD ends up in 5th, 6th position on the net worth chart. His team loses. I think that you might have that same scenario go down here if they're not able to start.
So you're not a fan of not going for Midas this game?
I think that it's just too much is my concern. They're not getting enough out of the map, and because of this decision, the AM will inevitably become the true win condition. Yes, you have a Medusa, but there's just so much more scaling potential on this dire lineup if your OD goes for such an early game focused build.
Don't you think that if he went for Midas, they would just crumble right here and right now? Like it's
no, it doesn't have to be Midas, but like a Kaya, a Yasha. You know, give me a Kaya Yasha into Force or into your BKB. Just something that allows you to farm faster. Doesn't have to be the Midas, just something that's a little more built around acceleration. Mid, we're going to have a jump onto the Tiny. He's going to get the double stun toss combo off. A nice Wyvern ulti going to come out. That should possibly be a dead Tiny. Indeed it is. And a silence as well onto the OD. He's just dead. Dusa ult is popped, but it doesn't do a damn thing.
I love how Tiny's just looking for someone to toss onto the Dusa, but he had no real target to do that effectively, to actually do something to that Dusa afterwards to catch her. Yeah, they lose the OD there, the Earth Spirit too, and the Dusa ult, and that opens up the objective, the tier 1 instantly afterwards. We haven't really seen FNG do a whole lot with this Bane so far. He just got his level 6, however.
And they're going to land the glyph. The sleep goes out on Brew, but you can see Sayu just, looking for the safe tossback. Oh, gets the grip with the stun as well. Immersion's going to roll forward. Still not level 6, however. Maybe they could pick off the Tiny here, but 5 heroes of this Radiant side are here. Is that really worth it?
Yeah, at the same time, the Anti-Mage is just farming the bottom lane. There's deep wars being planted by Winter Wyvern. He's utilizing that time perfectly to set this perimeter that's going to allow one of his cores to farm on the bottom lane. He might fall here, though. Hello, Kingar. Hello, sir. You're a little bit alone and behind enemy lines.
Now, the concern I got right now is if you look at these Gambit supports, their net worth not the greatest, and the team fight of Empire is just so unfriendly to them. Because Earthspear wants to roll into the mix of things. He's going to find himself on top of an AM, a Brew, a DP. These heroes output so much AoE damage. Just if you're tanking any sort of attacks from them, you die real quick.
Look at this juicy stack. He has that Battle Fury completed for 15 minutes. Like this, he's having a blast. Like, yeah, Tuze is ahead of him, but he's having a really good game, and it's going to accelerate so much right now as he has a ton of stacks in his jungle too that he's going to clear with that set Battle Fury. They do take down 3 bounties on the side of Gambit.
That's nice. Yeah, you can see the Sanj and Yasha on the Dusa, so he's going for that more traditional carry build instead of the mana-focused build because you are playing against that AM. It's to be expected. Let's see, anything big coming up? Not really. As you can see, a 1K net worth differential in favor of Empire. Slight XP lead as well. Well, that's going to be on the AM. You got a 4-step finished on your OD, but you can see only level 10. Just doesn't feel like Afo Ninja is as far ahead as you'd like.
He needs some acceleration item next, I think. Like after this, oh, he's going for BKB. Never mind.
Ooh, this is very risky.
This is the last item that he's going to get. And that's how it feels. If he goes for that BKB, it's going to be very hard for him to scale unless he gets some major team fights going his way.
I like you. Oh, they're going to get a grip onto the Tiny. Both ults of the supports used should be able to kill Immersion. Dusa comes in to help out. Unfortunately, the Earth Spirit will take the last hit instead of the Hawk, but that's fine. And the concern I have, I get what you're saying about the whole 1 and 2 having a nice role split, but when you consider that the OD was the 10th pick for his lineup, that you look at this game and he is the true win condition, I feel like they should be perhaps focusing more around his game. If there was a time to have 2 true cores, this would be it. And instead you see items that we usually see on...
Yeah, and Omni Knight is the one that's going for Midas. Like, how important is that on him? Like, what's he going to buy that's going to matter so much?
Not quite fast enough on the E. Will he be able to get the blink off in time? The silence. The hammer. No, he gets the blink off just in time.
Where's the tip? Give him the tip. Give him the T. Come on, Dream.
That's just not quite enough damage. So difficult for this Gambit lineup to kill the Anti-Mage. Their only real control would be a Bane Grip or the full barrage of Earth Spirit spells. They just don't have the levels
They're
yet.
still chasing him, though. They're going to board up, and if you go...
Yeah.
Hello!
Dream Darling.
Just a constant ward on that cliff right there. You have those 3 range creeps. I'm surprised they didn't go and kill them off. What? So Empire has a free ward for the whole duration of the game there so far. 17 minutes in, they have range creeps there.
Not just that, that's it's like 140 gold.
They're pinging it out right now. So someone should go and clear them.
Yeah, the concern is it all comes down to like which team needs more fights. It just feels like Empire is always one big engagement away, that if they take it, AM could just be unstoppable. Here we have afoninja TPing in on top of his shrine. Could be a poor place for Empire to take the fight, but do remember they have that massive team fight advantage thanks to the Wyvern Brew. Have a 5-on-5 clash potentially brewing here. Wyvern is going to go down. Do believe he has buyback in the meantime. Both ults popped by both the DP and the Brew. Omni Knight ult off as well, but there's the immediate dispel, but that's an active shrine. DP in a lot of trouble. He's going to move forward to get the double drain off along with the heals. He's going to get stunned by immersion. OD forced to flee from the fight, but FNG is already dead. He's going to TP back in. Dream Darling still in pursuit. No man on to Hawk. Big Earth Spirit ultimate, though, going to continue to pursue. Toss as well. Nice banish by OD, but do they have any follow-up stuns to finish this kill is the question. The answer is no. He's going to blink out. King R is back. He did buy back. Will he be able to land a big ultimate is the question. He's going to try and hit somebody. He goes for the Bane, but it's alone. No one in range.
Absolutely.
It's going to be completely wasted.
They do get the tiny in the end, but that's it. However, you have to also say that they did buy back the Winter Wyvern and the Bane, and the teamfight went kind of evenish. And considering Empire, they used the Panda split, they used the Dead Prophet ult, I would say that Gambit, like, they had a better teamfight, definitely. But they did kill King R first, so
yeah,
it started as a 4 versus 5.
And I think that's the big key there is King R just a little too aggressive. It's very important that Empire try and bait the Tiny, the Brew, the DP. Somebody just go in. Even if you tank a ton of spells, the Wyvern being there to combo break should almost guarantee you get those kills. But much like we saw in the previous series regarding inefficient Brew splits, that was one popped and then just run forwards. You want these ults to go off in the middle of the fray, not when you're still trying to pursue and actually find that target. Both DP and Brew a bit isolated as that began. Some of their damage was wasted, but that may fix things as Kodos picks up his patented DP Blink Dagger.
All right, he has the Blink. The AM should have Manta, I believe, for the next fight, so they're going to have these 2 items that are going to enable them to fight in a little bit of a different way, as right now they don't really have any true initiation, and that's why you see them. Now there's a Blink on Seiyu, but before, like that's why you see that happening. Like they have to pop these ultis and run at you because they have absolutely no other ways of catching you. So.
And you will have a cool timing here where we've been flaming the OD's item choice a bit, but if they hit a double BKB as both Dusa and OD gear up for that purchase, theoretically, there's really no BKB piercing damage on the side of Empire. They could look to get a pick off and potentially just start going high ground on the back of this Dahak Medusa.
See Madden waiting here for the bounty runes. I guess Radiant is just going to take the top 2 ones. Bottom 2 ones going to go to the side of Empire.
Manta almost complete on the Anti-Mage.
Yep.
OD, yep, there's
BKB.
the BKB. Yep. And Medusa's should be up in about 30 seconds as well. So they have hit the timing. 9-9, Roche still an objective. AM about to finish the Manta. He'll be going BKB as well, but there is a big window here for Gambit. DP and AM are a full BKB away from their own. Gambit, they have those items online.
Those BKBs are going to enable them to perhaps win these few next engagements, take big objectives such as Roche, dominate the map. At the same time, you do have DP ult. It's pretty strong, regardless. You can see how well they're positioned around this bottom tier 2. Not really the most important objective right now, and they're popping that.
This is tough. This is right inside of Gambit's timing window. Both of those BKBs are online, and they're beelining straight for this bottom tower while smoked up. No shrine activated, but they found King R, and they're rolling immediately for him. Immersion will find him with the silence and the stop. DP in a lot of trouble. Yeah, he TP'd out because there's an orange player in the base. Those are just illusions. Kodos, he's in trouble. Going to continue to run. afoninja, he's probably going to pick up this kill for Brew. You got to be careful. He might actually be able to blink away. Will he be able to get it off? Yes, he does. Well played by Kodos. What a god. He's actually going to get all the way into the trees. He's just fine. He gets out. Nobody's going to die except for King R.
That was very scary for Empire. I believe that once Madden ported out, that it might have been a mistake as he had to run back together with his team and maybe even try and fight them. He just dodged, but everyone else survives too, so.
This
Besides
is-
Kingar, that is.
That was a incredible play sequence there by Empire, really. To lose only one as Gambit just beeline for them out of a smoke,
Out of a
completely ready to
smoke,
wipe the floor with them.
It's one of the reasons that Kodos always buys the Blink Dagger. Just helps him so much.
It was really just nice play because he took damage,
Yuled.
juked for a couple seconds just to ensure that he would have Blink come off cooldown as he came down from the Yules, then quick cast it away to the immediate TP. Nice. It's a sign, I think, also, you know, obviously the kid's super young, but a real good sign of a good player is to be able to keep your composure in those sorts of scenarios. Instead of just accepting death, he does everything possible to stay alive. Like, probably the most famous scenario where that did go down is, of course, the Miracle Shadow Fiend, double blink, courier kill, juke the rock, etc., etc. That was actually immortalized in like an 8-bit graphic.
I
You see
saw
that? It was really
yeah.
cool.
That Prophet's also building towards that BKB, it seems, this game, as there's, like you're playing versus an OD, there's a lot of damage coming from him. Getting that BKB is necessary. Brewmaster also has the Midas, so these two offlaners are the greedier ones on both of these sides.
Yeah, but this game, the big difference is the mid players' disparity, where this game, it's Afo Ninja far ahead of his counterpart, whereas previously it was the Kodo show, and still is a bit of the Kodo show. However, he is not having
But he's
nearly
not
the same
dominating,
impact.
yeah. He's not really pressuring them. He's basically just trying to buy the Sentimage as much time as possible.
And we'll see how this continues. It's well, it's evened out. It's getting scary because, yeah, AM is still on top of the net worth, but he's not as far ahead as you'd like to see him, especially when you consider that it really is starting to look like a 1-core versus 2-core game.
How's that OD doing? I wonder if he's going to be able to make a big difference. He does have that BKB, so he didn't really get any of those acceleration items to boost his farm. He's still neck to neck with the Anti-Mage.
24 minutes in.
Do you like the
Roche, of
pipe
course,
on? Do
still-
you like the pipe on Omni Knight?
It's not bad. I feel like there's enough magic damage that it'll certainly be valuable, and it is not dispellable by the Brew Storm Panda. Crimson Guard, his pipe is not Brew, though, up top. Speaking of, going to be pushed straight into a grip. He did.
And that Midas just came off cooldown, so 40 seconds wasted.
Oof.
Right there, feels bad for him.
King R here, though. Is he looking to start this fight with an
Oh, he
ultimate or
attacked.
just being weird?
No, he attacked. He missed. Like,
What's happening here? A nice kick from Immersion, man.
right
What a
click.
strike.
all right.
Yeah. Will it be enough? King R. Oh, nice stuff. Oh, great BKB by Afo Ninja to dispel through that tiny ultimate. He should be able to find the kill.
Should run now. The BKB is running out. He has a port, but he is being chased by the Tiny. Oh,
They're going to turn
Wants
this
to
here.
turn, yeah.
Oh, nice OD ulti right away. Tiny's out of mana now, in a lot of trouble. He gets the aggro sleep. Immersion's going to roll back in. He was hiding in the trees the whole time. They thought he had teleported out, but no go. Kodos is going to pop the ultimate and just be immediately astraled. It's a 2-on-5, folks, and they're just popping everything. The Bane enfeebled him, so the negative
he blink
status
out?
resist. Actually,
blinks out.
No. Oh, no.
He blinks out.
FNG. They're right on top of an active shrine. They pop the Omni ultimate. That is... Oh, that no one expected that. You could tell.
just don't let him Yule anymore. Somehow. Stop that guy. I mean, they cannot kill him, it seems. But
Well, Immersion had the stun timed perfectly, but unfortunately, because of the Enfeeble, the Astral lasted 6 instead of 4 seconds, and Yules is off cooldown all of a sudden.
And he did use the ulti on that Prophet, so that's an upside for Gambit.
It-
Besides the fact that they took a good fight there. I think it all started with the Winter Wyvern. He was invis there. He was trying to set up, but he right-clicked the OD out of invis for some reason. I think it was just a pure misclick, nothing more.
And those are the worst kind of scenarios as a support, because you've probably made the call to make a play, but as soon as you make that mistake, now it's suddenly forced 5 to 10 seconds before your team was prepared, and it's very difficult to make the goal, oh no, just ditch me, when you're already sort of preparing to fight. So people have stopped farming, they've teleported, they're looking for this engagement, but now you're between a rock and a hard place where at the best scenario, you're going to waste a ton of time and lose your 5 anyway. AM finishing the BKB. While that all went on, remember, he did acquire that 1,000 net worth advantage on the game. Will happen when you give him that bit of space. Still, though, Gambit bit favored, 26-45 into the game, 13-9. Could go either way. Radiant's the next choice.
They have these two cores. They have the Duza and the OD. They're really strong, and at the same time, they have the Somni Knight that's going to buff them up. It's going to make them even stronger. Plus, they have the catch necessary. Even with the BKB, you still have the Bane.
Oh, wow, he's just going to go forwards right on the Bane. FNG's in some trouble. Will the Mana Void be enough? One more attack. Just needs the vision, but Immersion's actually going to go forwards. He's going to hit him with the silence as well. There's no Manta to do anything about this. Just applying a ton of pressure is Dream Darling. Well done here. Just immediately removing both supports from the game for 30 to 45 seconds.
Yeah, just go base, get that mana while I go into the Rosh pit. And you can see that they're all going there right now.
Yep.
That Prophet's ult is not there yet, however. And they should know that this is happening. You can see that they're porting, they're drawing. Can they get here on time? That's the question, though.
Indeed. They're going to beeline for it. It's dropping fast, though. Modney's got the split. Probably going to look to use it to start zoning fairly soon. Dahak's going to just walk in, pop BKB. Will he hit the Stone Gaze as well? Not quite yet. The split comes out, but not much you can really do about this. Dream Darling's BKB, but now he gets gripped. He won't be able to finish the Rosh. He's just actually getting clicked down. Hit by Rosh, and all the enemies pops the man to get the Aegis. Oh, they got the kill, too. He will go down. 3 heroes on the side of Empire already dead. Kingar, what's he going to do here to save his AM? I don't think it's possible. There's nothing you can do. Going to toss in Afo Ninja, but that is brutal. Well played by Gambit. They just walked right in there.
It's just so good the way they approach this fight. Doza with that BKB. We talked about this yesterday, how that Doza was supposed to be the hero that just walks into the pit, and it didn't happen for one team. Gambit, they watched the game, they learned from the enemy's mistakes, they utilized that Doza properly, and at the same time, FNG, his positioning was impeccable. Like, he goes behind the Rosh, just grips the AM. That BKB doesn't matter. Like, you still have the FNG Fiend's grip versus you.
Yep. And there's a Hex now for Afo Ninja coming out. They've got the Butterfly onto Hawk. This is the timing. You are so strong now on the side of Gambit, and you can't really fight them anymore. There's no Brew Split, there's no DP ult. There's no cooldowns ready to help this, and there's going to be a kickback from Immersion. That's the one guy that could probably stop this push when that Wyvern ult came up, and he's going to be down for the count. A defensive Astral to prevent the tiny combo damage. Now I believe Seyu is just going to go down. He's dead. Tier 3 to fall as well. There's still no AM. It's a 3-on-5, and Gambit's not leaving the base.
They have 10 more seconds. This is Rax's at least.
Melee soon to fall. Empire, nothing they can do but look on.
Yeah, they should back out. That Omni Knight has no mana whatsoever. AM is coming back up to life.
Yeah, but now you're at a phase of the game where you feel very confident. We'd say maybe Afo Ninja wasn't itemizing to scale, but perhaps he knew something we didn't, because they've dominated these couple of team fights. They got the level 20 on Medusa. That talent is ready to rock and roll. And they've taken a Rax. They're going to take this top shrine and probably look to just continue pushing down these lanes. There's nothing Empire could really do to stop them unless they blow all of their ultimates. And Gambit have proven they're able to split, prevent those big combos from coming out.
These two big items that came out for Gambit, like you have the Butterfly on Doza, the Hex. It just changes the way they can play this game completely. Suddenly you have multiple ways of catching that AM and killing him before he uses BKB.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like Dream Darling is able to do much. His net worth is high, but his impact in fights is non-existent. He's just not a real hero in comparison to the Dusa, who's still out farming him, along with the OD that's equal.
One of the reasons why we aren't seeing AM very often right now. Like, even when you give him that farm, it just takes so much time for him to come online, and even when he does.
Yeah. This could be big, though. We have a King R Invis rune. If he's able to find himself a 3- or 4-man Wyvern ultimate, you could have some crazy shenanigans go down.
As long as he doesn't right-click anyone. Should be fine. Let's see.
Oh my god, that was
oh, too late.
He gets the Omni, but there's...
Too late. There's sleep, there's imprisonment as well.
And now there's no Wyvern ult.
Yeah,
that's the big threat. Doc's just going to march up the high ground now. That was a big miscue there. And the Hex onto the Brewmaster. Pop the BKB. Yeah, just blow him up. There's no Brew. He's going to buy back.
I love that hammer as well. Prevents Seyu from maybe jumping in, tossing him back out.
William's going to go on the boot, so he's got the BKB. No mana for Stone Gaze, however. The Brew's going to split. DP going to ult and pop forward as well. He gets the silence off an Immersion. He might be soon to fall. AM doing what he can. Attacking FNG on the high ground. Going to blink forwards. Looking to chase the Deuce in the meantime. So they're going for the Earth Spirit to Hawk in a lot of trouble. He'll probably go down here to the Mana Void. Yes, indeed. Dream Darling gets the last hit. Double kill for him. They were able to clean up Immersion on the backside as well of that fight.
Huge fight for them, considering they lost that Winter Wyvern instantly.
Yeah.
The ult. Yeah.
could have certainly been worse. But I think a lot of that is just because, as you said, I like the hammer too, but Gambit, this is just an example of where they're a couple seconds behind the best teams in the world, where as soon as BKB and hammer are used, everyone on the squad has got to be ready for the buyback into back. You can lose one, you can lose two, but it's very tough to let your Dusa go down because now you lose all ability to move out on the map and push lanes. So when he respawns, everything is going to be pressured into your base, and all of a sudden Empire's got map control.
They're going to have to do some 5-man smokes once the Dusa is up to just take back the control of the map, at least one side of the map, to board it up.
Be a little careful here if you're AM, though, as well as the OD, because you don't want to end up hexing yourself. Oh. Initiation for the Brewmaster. There's a BKB back up on Afro Ninja. The Hex is going to be wasted. AM is going to continue just smack into Afro Ninja. Immersion does get the Magnetize off, but to not very much effect. There's still no Dusa. There's still no Bane. Empire, they have no problem continuing to pressure here. You gotta be a little careful. Your King R, as well as Immersion, he's going to catch the silence, but still gets the roll away. I didn't know it interacted like that. AM doing a very good job to continuously ensure that his counter spell is up when he puts himself in dangerous positions. You cannot be in a position to get hexed, slept, gripped.
I love how Kingar is still just the last one behind, even though he's so low. Warding up, scouting out for any possibles.
What do you think of Immersion's items? I love that. Look at his HP and his armor.
Yeah, 2 bracers on Earth Spirit is very popular.
Dude, with 2 bracers, the Spirit Vessel, soon to have a mech. He's got like nearly 3,000 HP, and you can see Empire continuously is trying to target him. He's the main source of lockdown for the side of Gambit, but he kind of wants that. He's the 8th place net worth and probably most HP.
By the time you take him down, he's just gonna allow that OD to take so much int away from you. It's not even worth it. And then you have the Omni Knight also giving him Heavenly's Grace, giving him Purification. They have the utility on their team, and now the Radiance is completed on Afterlife too. That Midas paying off for him.
I like the aggro glyph to ensure they keep the creep wave alive. I just want to make sure. That represents about 30 seconds of more push onto that bottom tower. I thought they would group up and look to go for the tier 2, but I do believe that now that they see the Brewmaster in the base, they could just try to push middle. Roshan will be spawning relatively soon, but we still have quite a bit of time. We'll have one more bounty rune engagement for sure. 45 seconds.
Smoke. There's the full 4-man smoke that we talked about. They're searching for targets. They have these heroes that are able to do that, and there's a DD Dusa too.
Oh, AM. Spidey sense is tingling. Gonna just send the illusions to try and deal with the mid lane. A bit of DD popped up on Dusa along with the crit stick.
I mean, you can see the way Empire is playing. They know something's up. They know something's happening.
I like how they did this, though, where they have the Omni Knight still showing bottom, so they disguised this movement a bit, even though Empire's still playing safe. But because they're pushing middle and bot, they now can just rotate themselves into the Dire jungle, take that tier 2 bottom in just a few moments for free, and also maintain their control of the Empire jungle.
It's a good timing of this play, too, because they know Rosh can be up still.
Exactly.
So they can afford to be playing on this bottom lane. Usually it's very difficult to play around that there. Even if you're taking this tier 2, if you know that Rosh can spawn, it can always be very dangerous, especially versus that Prophet. We've all seen how fast they take down Roshan.
Alpha Ninja is going to have a Shiva's real soon. You can see the bounty gold this game much evener than the previous.
And the game does feel a lot more even than the last one.
And dude, they are so strong. They're going to have a Shiva's and the Daedalus. It feels like both times Gambit look to go high ground, they're finishing huge items on both of their cores. You don't want to take this engagement until the courier gets here, though.
There's 3k gold on Afterlife, too. And they're forcing this.
Okay, well, there's nothing that you can really do on the side of Empire to stop this. They know AM is still not in base. He's going to be TPing back now. You can see Gambit. They go into positioning. They've got the Daedalus. They've got the Shivas on the courier now as well. And the Rax looks like it just might go down.
The
Will be enough to silence. Yeah, but there's so much status resist. He's just not stunned. Immersion's going to get blinked on by the AM. The BKB by Alpha Ninja pops the ultimate, but doesn't do very much at all. The grip onto the AM, but there's a Wyvern ulting on the OD, so no one's actually doing damage. The Hawk going to pop the ultimate. AM blinks away. Will be the end of his BKB. Bruce Split comes out now. Kodos in a bit of trouble. Only 2 drains left. Very limited mana pool. They're going to look to continue chasing. They're going to throw up the Omni Knight. Look to maybe target the Medusa, but Kodos, you're deep, man. I don't think you can do that.
He disappears.
Oh, no. They just don't have the damage. AM's not engaged. There's just no DPS.
I mean, there's a buyback from the DP, but no ult.
And yeah, this is
Dream.
It's starting to fall apart. Dahak still had the BKB somehow, so he was going to die even through the Blade Mail. Modden's soon to follow.
They're just destroying them.
It's the 2 cores versus the world. It's just too much. It's such a crazy power spike. It's like Gambit, they played a great game, don't get me wrong, but the most important thing they did was go for the win when they had the item timing to do so. Like, you can't ask for a better usage of timing windows. Like, they get these huge items, they're already on the high ground, and they
GG.
welcome this team fight. GG, we got a game 3 on our hands. Gambit are going to take this one.
I mean, even though that Winter Wyvern's ulti, the curse in the last fight was really good. It made the team survive. They fell back, but then suddenly Kodos is completely isolated. He goes way too deep. Panda survives on like 10 HP, manages to get the split off, but it just doesn't do anything as he's too far behind in that team fight. He's far away from anyone. So overall, a very good performance by Gambit as they take this game 2 and even it out for game 3 for us.
It does really feel like Kodos kind of controls the tempo for his team. When he's having a good game, it just a lot more. Their movements just feel more fluid. This one fell behind, much tougher matchup.
That first rotation as well. Bottom lane on the tier 1 fails. Gambit just teleports everyone in besides the Omni Knight, and they punish that rotation from the Death Prophet. They kill his first rotation. That's so important versus these tempo controllers like Dragon Knights, Razors, Death Prophets. If you just slow the first move, it kind of, if they're playing on a script, they have to improvise afterwards, right? Because it didn't go according to plan. So it's really important to see that and to act properly against it.
Indeed, it feels like that's kind of the tale of the tournament thus far. Tons of aggression, some mistakes punished, some not. We got a game 3 in this championship match for Group B, 1-1. Gambit versus Empire. We'll be back right after this break.